And tonight she's going to talk about the trials and tribulations of being a redhead. Give her a round of applause.
Hello everybody, my name is Emilee Richardson, as Sarah said, and I am a redhead. I've been a redhead my entire life, and tonight I'm going to tell you my story. The good, the bad, and the dorky. Really quick disclaimer, you're going to see a lot of really cute pictures of me as a child. So before we start talking about the trials and tribulations, I want to talk about one really important question, and that is, where do redheads come from? As you can see here, my mom has blonde hair and my dad has brown hair, but both of their children have red hair. It's something that is very rare. Only 1% to 2% of the population has red hair. But it all comes down to genes. One gene in particular, and that's the MC1R gene, also known as melanocortin 1. I have a shirt. And to get this gene, it's a recessive gene mutation of this gene that both parents have to have, and the child has to receive both of the recessive genes in order to become a redhead. So you can see that it is very rare, and it's even more rare when both of your children are redhead, like in my family. This is my older brother, Matt, and you can see some pictures here from throughout the years. This one in the middle is my favorite because it was when I was visiting my brother in San Francisco. His roommate got asked what I looked like, and he said, just imagine Matt, but a girl. Another really funny thing about my brother is that when we were little and people said, you have such pretty red hair, he always answered, it's not red, it's orange. So there are a lot of different shades of hair, red hair, and the only time that's really ever come into play for me was when I donated my hair to Locks of Love in high school. Before I go any further, I want to take a quick moment to recognize the redheads who've come before me. You may recognize a few of them: Emily Dickinson, William Shakespeare, Vincent Van Gogh, Thomas Jefferson, Queen Victoria, Sir Winston Churchill, even Ramses II. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit off topic, and we need to get back to the main topic of the presentation and the cute kid pictures, right? So we're talking about the trials and tribulations of being a redhead. This idea came to me when I realized that when people introduce me to other people or are trying to explain who I am, they always say redhead. If you had 3 ways to describe you, 3 words, I bet one of them would be redhead. So I started making an outline, I started thinking about this presentation. I thought I was on the right track, but I wanted to make sure, and so I did some outside research. I posted on Facebook and said, fellow redheads, I need your help. Tell me some reasons why it's good or bad to be a redhead. And within 24 hours, I got all of these responses. So you can see that redheads definitely care about it. One of the first things you need to know about a redhead is that we sunburn very easily. When I was little, I went through a cycle of burn, peel, and then being white again. I never got tan. Now, I'm really good about it. I rock the one piece and hat, and I'm awesome at putting on sunscreen. There are also some negative stereotypes that come along with being a redhead. They include being hot-tempered, wild, crazy, and opinionated. Also, there are some color palette things that your color palette is limited. This is probably the last time I wore pink. It just doesn't work with my skin tone. Another kind of weird one that you might not know about is anesthesia. There was a study at the University of Louisville that involved anesthesia and electric shocks. And they did different tests to see after how much anesthesia, you wouldn't feel the pain. And redheads needed 20% more anesthesia. Interesting, right? There's also this, which doesn't even deserve to be read out loud. People think maybe it's bad or maybe it's not. Quick, let's do some jokes. How many redheads does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many? 1. She holds on to it while the world revolves around her. Question number 2, why is it better to date a blonde than a redhead? Why? You can ignore a blonde safely. Whenever I'm around one. There's this community of redheads, and even when I was doing my research, I found a website called raisingredheads.com. There's a whole website talking about how you should raise your child that's a redhead. Also is the built-in Halloween costumes. You can see here, I was Pippi Longstocking as a child and as an adult. I've been Poison Ivy, I've been Kim Possible, I've been Miss Frizzle, I've been the Little Mermaid. Another really cool positive is the effects as you age. This is my grandma. She had red hair when she was younger. She's where I got my red hair, and in this picture, she's in her 70s. And she looks awesome, right? So because we take care of our skin when we're young, our skin looks great when we're older. And redhead's hair either goes lighter to white or darker to blonde. Or like my grandma's, never mind. We're not. The other thing is there are positive stereotypes associated with being a redhead. We're said to be fun-loving, adventurous, passionate, seductive, free-spirited, strong. There's this thing about us being vixens or sirens. The other thing is like I said, there are facts of life. It's one of my most distinguishing factors, but you also stand out in the crowd as a redhead. This can be a good thing if you're at a concert and your friend is trying to find you, but if you're in Africa like I was last summer and you're a blonde female redhead, you kind of stand out a little bit. So I know I've gone through a lot, but if there are 3 things you're going to remember from this presentation, I want them to be this. Number 1, redheads are rare, so you need to treat us with respect and love. Number 2, we're fragile. There aren't very many of us left, and if we need help with our sunscreen, please, just help us. And for God's sake, stop with the gingers have no soul thing. It doesn't even make any sense. And I'm going to end with another cute kid picture, and one more thing, redheads, represent.